I actually heard he was carrying 2 death notes.
Seriously?
Two
Why
death-
would he need 2?
Uh-oh.
So, the price for receiving
So
the eyes of a
someone else has a
Shinigami
death
is
note.
no more than half of my remaining lifespan? This deal is out of the question.
Okay, good. All right. So it's not that much of a god complex. Just wants to continue killing everybody on a massive scale.
And I intend to reign as a god in that world for a very long time. I might consider the deal if it lengthened my life, but not if I die sooner.
It seemed enticing for a second there,
You could have simply included it in the instructions for the death note.
right? There seems to be a
good
lot
point.
more rules coming up.
He's not the slightest bit
those
daunted by the fact that
Pennywise
I'm a
eyes.
Shinigami. He doesn't suck up to me,
Can't do that.
and he seems to have no problem giving me a hard time.
I might have seriously considered the deal if you'd offered me wings instead of eyes. Just the idea of flying around freely in the sky sounds very godlike. After all, it's been mankind's dream since antiquity to be able to fly.
You'd stand out if you sprouted wings and flew around. Not to mention the police would have no trouble finding you.
If I keep bargaining for eyes and wings and whatever else, next thing you know, I'm gonna end up becoming a real Shinigami. Though who
That
knows?
might be the
I
goal.
bet that could be pretty interesting.
Yeah, sounds like you would be into that.
You're already a worthy Shinigami.
Watch out, you'll get bored. He got bored. He's gonna end up just coming back to Earth.
That's why I'm using the Death Note to create a better world. You have to be a positive thinker to even attempt something like this.
Practically turning into a criminal phone book. Does it ever run out of pages?
I need to know exactly how far I can go in terms of specifying the details of death. This should be interesting.
What? Bizarre behavior before they died? Could you be more specific? What do you mean?
He escaped from his cell and ran all the way to the staff bathrooms before he died.
Had to take a mean poop.
So now he's experimenting on his victims?
Yeah, if he doesn't know if it worked, you just
He's
heard of
playing
the
with
heart
people's
attack.
lives as if all this was just a game. It's unforgivable.
One of them escaped and ran into the bathroom I had specified in the Death Note. Another one drew the same symbol I had drawn in the Death Note
Wow.
before he died. And finally, a third wrote the same letter I had written in the Death Note, word for word.
Okay, so by not releasing it to the papers or to the press.
Or, at the very least, it has to be the kind of thing that they could come up with on their own. Basically, even the Death Note can't do the impossible. Believe it or not, I'm actually a rather popular guy. Ryuk.
For someone who doesn't seem to have much of a social life, neck deep in God complex and school.
He's still following me.
Is
Perfect.
that the guy?
This whole thing
Show
would
his
just be a
face.
waste of time if he wasn't tailing me. Didn't you see what I wrote in the Death Note? I explained it in great detail.
No, doing that would take all the fun out of it.
In that case, just be patient.
Likes to keep it a mystery.
And the best part is I have you all to myself.
Well, she's pining for him, isn't she?
Date's on his day off. A normal kid, just a hardworking senior in high school. Chief Yagami's son. Light Yagami. No cause for suspicion. I'll be done with my surveillance today, and that'll be it.
Okay, so he's got one day to not do anything suspicious in front of this guy. If you like these highlights and you want to see unedited footage of the entire show, join my Patreon. Link down below. We're also watching Walking Dead, American Horror Story, The Last of Us, with a whole bunch of lineups along the way. We got plenty of sci-fi, lots of Marvel, whole bunch of horror. Please join us. It's going to be fun.
It's him. He's here.
Oh, you sneaky bastard.
7 passengers, excluding him. No one's in the way. Everything should go smoothly.
So what, he's going to act like he's just going to try and act like
Stay in your seats unless you want to
totally
die.
innocent? Like, oh my god!
Bus jacking?
You heard what he said.
He has big
Now
teeth.
you listen up. Have a female staff member bring all of Spaceland's cash from yesterday.
Don't be scared. As soon as he turns around, I'm going to grab the gun out of his hand. I'll trust you.
Poor Ray.
And I guess for the time being, I won't bother asking what an FBI agent is doing on the bus in the first place. Do you have a gun?
Yeah, I've got one.
So if it comes down to it, I can rely on you, right?
Yes.
Don't move, you little punk! What the hell is that? Smartass! You guys were planning something back here, weren't you?
Damn it. If he sees that note from before, he'll find out the Light was planning to jump him and take his gun away.
Unless he jumps him right now.
Gotcha.
Who the hell are you?
So you mean you can actually see me right now?
Oh, was that a page from the notebook?
That little note that Light accidentally dropped
Like
was actually
accidentally.
torn from the pages of the death note itself.
Yeah.
Since he tricked this guy into touching the paper, he's the only other one on the bus who can see me. That's so smart.
Get away!
Sorry, pal.
Ah! Oh my god, those eyes. Pennywise. That was totally Pennywise right there.
It's not the bus! Let me off!
The plan seems to be going well. Yeah. If you fall off a bus, you can pretty much assume that you're going to get hit by a car. If you end up on all fours.
He dies when struck by a car.
Yep. Looks like right in the dome, too. How dead? Really dead.
You will be next, Ray Penber.
Aw, Ray Penber. See, again, just because he's getting followed. To be continued! No! Okay, so now it's turning into more learning how far the notebook can be taken. So it limitations, how well the rules can be bent, where are how I'm sure he's trying to come up with a plan to try and extend his lifespan using this book as well. I'm willing to bet money he's got a plan on that one, because that just seems a little too obvious. If you're somehow, able to use the book to extend your years in some way, shape, or form, because you're able to put in such detail on how you die. It's going to be interesting to see how that works out. All right. We'll see you next time. Thanks again for joining.